What's happening?
There they go. That's
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This is going.
Let's go now.
Man, oh, man, oh,
There's
man.
another
It's
one.
time for the Meat and D
Pops and Son.
podcast.
For that ass. Hey. We
Sit
in
down,
this
sit
mug. We in
down.
there. We in here.
We back. Sit down. Thanks for
Ooooweee.
joining us. Well, that's one if they count with us this week.
That's one.
That's one. Hint. Message. What's going on, son?
Hey, look, we looking fly in this merch we got.
Man, we got this merch.
We got the release.
D Pops and Son podcast shirts. Got the Carolina blue.
Got the
He's
Carolina
got the Nike
blue
Fly training jacket with the logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's popping, D.
Yeah, that's popping.
That's popping.
Yeah.
That looks nice. And
We got some merch on the way.
Right, we got merch on the way. Please let us know if you want some of it. A t-shirt is where we're starting. Give us your size. We actually have a contest that D put out on his Facebook page, which you got to listen to win. You got to actually give the right number of something, and we'll go from there. But anyway, hey, it's down to 4 teams, 3 games, 1 champion. It's Final Four weekend, and D, man, I'm excited. I'm serious.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited.
These are some good teams. These are some
this
very
is
good
what
teams.
It all boils down to.
Yeah, it's wide open.
Wide open. So we'll give you our rundown. First of all, obviously, we'll discuss our Final Four matchups and give you our picks on both the men's and women's sides. We got the NBA Power Rankings. Been another shakeup, which is kind of a shock.
Mm-hmm.
It's back to where it was. I'll just tease that. Our Who You Got this week is NFL legendary defensive backs.
The DBs. Who you got in this
And we
month?
got to introducing a brand new segment tonight. It's called You Said What?
You said what?
What'd you say? It's called You Said What? So we'll get into that. We've also got some juicy news.
Because
if you don't know,
now you know. Player.
Young brother. This will give you our pops, flops, and props.
Props, flops, and props.
And then finally, we're going to have to tell somebody if you don't support the show or anything else, sit your ass down.
Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down.
I got a feeling somebody's going to be mad, but you got to sit your ass down.
But you got to sit down.
Man, oh man. All right. In the men's Final Four, which kicks off Saturday, April 1st, in the first game, my Florida Atlantic University Owls.
The Owls. The Owls.
35-3 up to this point. They'll go up against San Diego State University, 31-6. 2 good teams.
Very good teams.
The wild thing about it is no number 1s, no number 2s,
not at all,
and no number 3s left.
Dang.
All the top seeds have gone. That's crazy within itself. But that just goes to show you parity in men's basketball. It's easier to jump ship and get talent. If you continue to recruit well, you're going to land some good players that you typically wouldn't get. There's an opportunity for a mid-major to actually win the whole thing, and that'd be exciting. A lot of people say, oh, the Dukes, the Kentuckys, the North Carolinas, the UCLAs aren't in it, the top-notch teams of the past. But again, we just talked about it. There's a lot of parity now. Programs are stronger, and you don't have to go to one of those expensive colleges to play ball and be seen.
Players are going where they're going to get minutes and play.
Right.
Like with the NILs now and all the social media and exposure, you could be your own marketing agent and all that and be seen. So pretty much, yeah, like you said, you don't have to sit on the bench behind 4, 5-star recruits and not get your time. Go to one of the not as high-profile schools, make them come up, and then now you're looking like, oh, dang, you didn't took the Owls all the way to the Final Four. You didn't took San Diego State all the way to the Final Four. You must be a really good player. So, it just adds to your point of what you were saying. Like, it's just way more spread out now.
Yep. The other thing, too, that we fail to realize is players going into the G League.
Yeah.
You got a lot of top-notch players. You know what? I'm not good enough to go to the pros all the way, but I don't want to sit on anybody's bench, like you said, behind someone. So I'll just go to the G League and develop my game. Then I'm going to get called up a lot faster than these college players.
Right.
So there's a lot of great basketball talent out there, and it's evidenced by, like we said, there's no top 3 teams left in this tournament. There's a lot of good ball players out there, and I'm excited. And then in the nightcap ball game, you got Miami going up against UConn.
Ooh, the U versus UConn.
The U versus UConn. Miami is 29-7. UConn is 30-8. And if you had to cast it, I guess I would say the way the UConn looked against Gonzaga, they probably would be the clear-cut favorites.
Right.
With this tournament, you just don't know.
Yeah, you can't count out anybody. What they done in Miami is fantastic. Miami is one of those schools that I just like to watch. I'm a Bulldogs fan, Georgia fan through and through, but Miami is another one of those teams that just has a good program, usually with football as far as the notoriety and the championships. But they're making a splash in basketball. Couple years they've been pretty good, but they put it all together this year, going against UConn, which, like you said, man, putting that beat down on the Zags. I'm like, what happened, Timmy?
Man,
Drew Timmy.
And
Timmy, they put him in timeout. They put Timmy in timeout.
Timeout Timmy.
Timeout Timmy. Drew, timeout Timmy. Yeah. So they got
it was not a game from the jump.
Not at all. They came out strong. So
they came out on.
It's gonna be some good basketball, but yeah.
FAU 35-3, as I mentioned before, they'll be led by John L. Davis, averaging 13.9 points per game. And SDSU 31-6. Matt Bradley's their top scorer on the season at 13.1 points per game. So I got a feeling this is going to be a close matchup all the way to the end.
Absolutely.
Then you got Miami. They'll be led by Isaiah Wong. He's averaged 16.1 points per game. And UConn, they got the big 6'9" threat from Africa, Adama Sanago. He led the team this year with 17.3 points per game.
Oh, he's supposed to be the new Black Panther. 6'9" from Africa. Damn. I ain't messing with that, brother. We found him.
There he is.
We found him.
Sinago forever.
For real. No, but they got a team right there at UConn. They look like they can absolutely do it all. I forgot I had 2 brackets in my other bracket at work. We do a work bracket, and I had UConn in my Final Four in my second bracket, and I actually got them going to the ship. So let's see if they can actually do it all. I like Miami though.
And he's actually from Mali.
Bamako,
Mali, which is it's in the upper to middle part of Africa. So he said we found the Black Panther. That's a good one, D. All right, moving on to the women's Final Four, which they will kick off on Friday, March 31st. And unlike the men, the women, they still got 3 top seeds left.
Yeah.
They went out and handled their business. The women did not play around. Number 1, Virginia Tech. They'll take on the number 3 seeded LSU.
Ooh.
And in the nightcap, this is actually the game that I'm looking
This
forward
is
to.
the game right here.
This is your championship right here to me.
This is what we want to see for real.
You got number 1, South Carolina at 36-0, trying to run the table and repeat as champs.
Man.
Trying to take down player of the year, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
2, Iowa. Caitlin Clark just beat the reigning Player of the Year, Leah Boston from South Carolina.
This is going to be a real good matchup. This is going to be fantastic basketball for each the men and women. So, and they both, shout out to all the programs who've made it to the Final Four. They worked so hard to lead up to this moment. Don't take it for granted, but this is what it comes down to. And man, that's
coming off a 40-point triple dub.
A 40-piece on them.
Triple dub.
Man.
It wasn't just a 40-piece.
Right. A triple dub.
A triple dub on
I ain't see. There's not too many men that, you know what I'm saying, that's putting on, like, doing that in college. And she working them. So, but
you just heard from on the men's side, they're not scoring. There's not a 20-point score.
Right. It's more, it's more, like you said, the high score, it was like 13, 14, 15.
There's got Sanogo at 17.
At 17, but man, she's almost averaging 30.
Points.
Yeah, she's almost averaging 30.
Yeah, she's having
like 28.
30.
Yeah.
She's what? Almost 40% from 3-point land.
Mm-hmm. And she got that dog in her.
Man, she's not a joke.
She's gonna go in a heavy test against South Carolina. That team. I'm talking about a full-on team, and they're gonna be on her.
Oh, somebody else is gonna have to beat her.
They're gonna be on her.
Be on her. I got a feeling that she'll have a good game, and they'll let her get hers. It won't be to the tune of 40 points,
right?
But they'll let her get 25 to 30 points because you're not gonna be able to stop her that way. But on the missed shots. They got that's what I like is South Carolina has that size. I was watching them the other night and
extra possession shots.
Man, they get those extra shots underneath.
And they're grit.
They got
they
a
fight.
deep bench, and of course,
and
you
a
got
great coach.
That coach Don Staley.
And you also have a Player of the Year caliber player on your team.
Boss, and I can't think of the other girl. She's 6'7".
You got a lot of talent on there. I can't. I know you're talking about,
but man, when one wave sits down, you bring in another wave of top 5
of energy, right?
Yeah, and they don't let up. They don't
not
let up
at
on
all.
Defense,
I'll be in her face, pressuring her, and it's gonna be good. I think
she caught the ball. I'd catch her. Right.
Oh my God!
I put the full court press on her, and I'm sure Don Staley's drawing up a pro.
At least whoever's guarding her,
plan.
Whoever's guarding her, I'm just rotating. Just so I have a fresh person, pester her, make her work, make work for every shot. I'm talking about every shot. I don't want to even make her pass the ball
because they don't make have her the work. Talent. Yeah, but she's the team.
She's the team. You shut her down. They gonna look at her like, oh, what do we do?
Right.
Honestly, I don't know if we're gonna go ahead and choose who we're thinking. I think it's gonna be South Carolina versus LSU.
And I got South Carolina winning that. On the men's side, I can really see the Owls sneaking through to get.
I can see that. I can see Owls versus UConn.
And then I'd have to take UConn.
You have to take the Owls. Go ride with the Owls. You didn't roll with them the whole time.
I have.
And they made the Final Four.
And if they
make the national championship, well, who cares? You might as well take because you don't.
It's not like I'm putting money on it,
right? That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? You came from a straight just
out of the blue,
just a sleeper team, true Cinderella team from the get go, and they made it.
Right, D. You know what?
That going for the Owls.
Me back into it. I gotta go.
Hey, but go what you think. I'm just saying.
No. My head says UConn, but my heart is.
I would say UConn is the favorite.
With the Owls all the way. So
ride with the Owls.
I can't get off the bandwagon.
The Owl, and they got a good team.
The shirt coming.
Right, on the way.
On the way. So yeah,
that's gonna be
the Owls in a major upset.
Owls,
and then I'll take South Carolina women. That won't be an upset, but that'll be a nice triumph.
History
back to back. Man, what were they? 32-3 last year. 30.
Yeah, there was something around there. I think they only lost.
So you would have won 60+ games over the last 2 seasons.
Oh my God!
Back-to-back championships. That's legendary.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to give Dawn a lot of credit.
Absolutely.
She's taken that program and she's made it her own. And
as well as she should. Yeah, they're the real deal. Hopefully they continue that.
All right. Moving on to the NBA Power Rankings. I put in my notes. It's almost like we went back about a month or 2 months when we first started this, because it's Milwaukee number 1, Boston back to 2, Philadelphia dropped to 3, Denver's 4, and Cleveland is 5th. Nothing. That's what it was before. We got less than 2 weeks until the play-in playoffs start.
Right.
They kick off on the 11th. Philly dropped out just for the simple fact they lost their last 3 games. I know.
Right.
Embiid was hurt.
Embiid wasn't really
Harden
playing.
was hurt.
Yep.
But yeah, so you got teams jockeying for position. But yeah, it's just crazy how things can reflip to where it was before. Yeah,
right.
Reshuffle.
Yeah.
What do you think about Dallas? They got hot, and now they just straight fizzled, D.
Yeah,
I mean, playing now. They're playing against Philadelphia, and ironically, Embiid and Harden are in the lineup tonight. But
yep. Right now, Mavericks is up right now. Big thing for them, just defense for Dallas. Thinking that they got the scoring. You can have Kyrie go off for 40. You can have Luka go off for 40. But if they're giving up,
stop anybody.
Right? But if you're giving up more points on the other team, they're not stopping nobody.
Luka plays no defense. He can't play defense.
That's what I'm saying. And
Kyrie can play, but he's just
Kyrie can
man.
play. Right. And then he's not guarding your best guy on there. That's the big problem for them. It's going to be that defense. They can't stop nobody.
Right.
And then defenses wins games, wins championships. They're going to have to go off for 50 each. Damn near. Like, for real. And
that's hard to do every night.
And that's hard to do every night. Like, they got to get some stop. And then the big emphasis they need to focus on is defense. We'll see how they finish out this game. I know, but and another thing with Embiid and Harden, come around playoff time, they become a little bit I wouldn't say like they don't make it a dominant effect in the playoff as they do in the regular season. We've seen it from Harden when he was in Houston, MVP caliber, going off for 50, 10, and 10. And then in the playoffs, with just granted they were going against great teams, Warriors, those teams over there, but just know he would take a back burner, or Embiid would have a dominant regular season, or he'd just get hurt towards the end of the season. And then now we're seeing those same type of patterns right now. Both
coming down the stretch.
They're both dealing with some injury. And we'll see. They're going to need these games to win, but they also need to salvage their bodies because it's going to be a long road to get to that NBA championship.
You go all the way from April to 11th to a little bit past June 11th.
And you're playing the best teams.
The best of the best.
The best of the best.
Yep. What do you think about this? And it seems like every couple of weeks we keep bringing this up, but KD is back in the lineup. Kevin Durant back in the lineup for Phoenix tonight. They've got the talent, but once you get past their big four, the bench isn't deep enough because you let everybody go. I mean, to trade them to get Durant.
And if Durant is just getting hurt in warm-ups,
right,
let alone just a 7-game series back to back to back, that's going to be pretty tough on them. Now, I do think with KD on the floor, it makes them a favorite for sure, but I don't think it makes them a clear favorite. There's other teams that can get them.
And I don't think he can stay healthy from now to June.
Right. He'll have to stay healthy, and
Booker's going to have to stay healthy.
Booker's going to have to keep performing like he is, and we're going to have to keep Paul is going to actually have to make some – he's going to have to not shy away. Pretty much 2 years ago when they were in the NBA Finals, they both just shied away, and Giannis took over that series. Giannis turned up.
Especially when they had the series won.
They had it won.
They
had it won. We'll see. Especially they did get some good defensive players, but we'll see how they do. There's a lot of just hungry people, dogs, in that West Division. So we'll see.
I noticed when Durant came, and granted, it took a lot of pressure off of Chris Paul, but it seemed like he's not looking to score as much as he was before.
Right.
He's going to have to, one of those games, especially if someone is not hitting their shots or they're hurt, he's going to have to step his game back up. I don't know if he's ready to do that.
Especially in that fourth quarter, they're really going to need him to get points because that's when it really comes down to crucial. That second half, I see how you make a feel for a game, get the rhythm of the game, get some other people some opportunities to score, but like you said, they're going to need some points from him and some efficient scoring pretty much. You don't have to go off for 25, but a good 15 in crucial moments, clutch moments
of the game.
And crucial moments of the game would add the advantage to your sides. They got a game tonight against the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are hot, but if KD plays and he stays healthy, Suns definitely have a chance to go all the way.
LeBron is back in the lineup tonight too. Just mysteriously.
Yeah,
wasn't
he
much
played
hype
on
around it. He just kind of.
I think he played on Sunday or Monday against the and then they lost to the Bulls in his return. when in
Oh,
LA.
that's right, because Pat
right?
Bev was clowning him.
Yeah, Pat Bev. Oh my gosh. Pat Bev is Pat Bev. You love him or you hate him. He ain't gonna
And
change
most
for
of the time,
nobody.
you hate him.
Oh my
If he's
God!
on
Unless
your
he's your
team, you
team,
love him. Yeah,
you can kind of tolerate him. But man,
Right.
that dude's he scored 2 points and act like he went off and did something.
Yeah, act like he had a 40-point triple.
Man, like, come on now. But yeah, so they got a game tonight, and I was having this conversation. It seems the rhythm in the offense plays a little bit higher pace with LeBron not being there.
Yeah, it does.
The fluidity seems to be there. The chemistry seems a little bit stronger when he's just on the sideline.
It's almost like when he gets in, they're looking for him to do everything.
They're spectating. Instead of trying to get involved and moving it. And it just slows down because LeBron, and he's trying to slow down, be methodical, get a great possession, and which is good. But
that rhythm out of the game.
Right,
like
he's kind of playing towards kind of where he's at. He doesn't need to be running up and down the floor with these young guns. But when he's off the court, man, those young guys are just running around and flying out. And then other players are stepping up. D-Lo, what's his name? Reeves on the team. So Austin Reeves came out of nowhere and was going out of nowhere 30. So that's what I want to see. It's very interesting. LeBron needs to find a way to get that chemistry with them on the court, how they have been, because they right now I think they're in 9th in the West. Right. So they're gonna pass that play-in. I think it's better for them to go ahead and make it and not have to worry about doing that play-in because
it looks like they are projected to get to the play-in, or they're going to be part of it.
He'll be part of it because I guess at the 9th,
I think it's the Pelicans, Timberwolves. There was another team involved, but then when they did the little mock playoff, it looked like they had the Lakers are the stronger of the teams,
right?
And I can see them getting that 8th spot, but they'd have to go against the Joker. Aren't they number 1? Yeah, They'd have to go against Denver.
Yeah, and that's
gonna be rough.
You don't want to do that right off.
You don't want to do that.
Not to say that Denver is this scary team that you don't want to go against, but starting off
in the first round, that's
in the
not
first
the team
round,
you want to meet.
You want that's a game changer. So you're going to have to come with it all. So yeah, we'll see.
All right, and then I had one more note on the MVP race. He sat out Monday night when they had the rematch against Joker.
Right.
And now Joker's hurt, so looks like the MVP race is going to go down to the wire, but I think it's going to be Embiid winning narrowly. But I think he's going to get it this year. He should have got it last year. I think a lot of writers know that. They're going to give it to him this year.
Right. Yeah, I just piggyback on what you said. He definitely deserved it last year. And then this year, if he could just stay healthy and keep his production up, I think he'll probably get it this year. I think I would give it to him for sure, but you never know how the voting goes. But I think he deserves it this year. He's been playing at an MVP caliber performance, so I think he should get it. I would give it to him.
I would too. I agree. All right, son, moving on to the NFL. Who you got?
Who you got in this mob?
Defensive backs tonight.
Do it.
Legendary. That's
That's two.
Counting.
Who you got? DBs. This is man. So we're gonna go over some straight legends. The position I played primarily the DB corner. These are some guys, some dogs, some athletes. Do it all, catch, interceptions, the tackling. So we're going to start off. Primetime, Deion Sanders.
Deion.
Cornerback, man. Played with ATL, San Fran, Dallas, and then towards the end of his career, played with Washington and the Ravens. But he's an 8-time Pro Bowler, 8-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champion. Now, I was looking at his statistics compared to the other two. Not as great in tackling, had 513 tackles, 53 interceptions, still had high interceptions, but he was overall just an athlete. He played everything. Also played baseball at the time when he was with the Falcons. So as far as an athlete goes, Primetime might be one of the greatest athletes of all time for sure.
And you got to count the 9 touchdowns he had in between kickoffs and punt returns.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying.
I saw that. 2 Super Bowl wins. All of these, or all 3 of these guys are Super Bowl champions.
Right.
But Deion, I guess the other reason, too, that he didn't have as many tackles and as many interceptions, they didn't throw to his side.
Right.
He was in his prime. They weren't throwing on Deion's side.
Because you knew it was going to get picked off. So that was his effect.
He's going to take it back to the house. That's what I'm trying to say. They talk about how one half of the field is already just cut off. Yeah, Deion is over there. He's just roaming, and he's waiting on you to throw the ball. And there'd be literally times when they wouldn't even go the main offensive weapon's way. So I think that's probably why his stats are down.
So the other one, comparing to number 2, Rod Woodson, cornerback, Pittsburgh Steelers, played for San Fran towards the end of his career, played Ravens and the Raiders. Like you said, 6-time first-team All-Pro, 11-time Pro Bowler, did get a Super Bowl championship, but his numbers, over 1,100 tackles, 71 interceptions, had 13 and a half sacks, and was also a Hall of Famer too as well. Rod Woodson was, he was a beast. He was just overall just in the 80s. He was a dominant corner. Also had returnability too. He was very fast, athletic type. You could throw in on an offensive scheme, and he could make some plays happen.
Until I went back and looked at his stats, I really didn't appreciate how good he was. I remember him being good, but then when you go back and you see the stats, he played in more games than Ronnie Lott or damn. I'm sorry, I'm giving it away.
It's not no giveaway. Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, okay, but he brought 3 D-backs. He played in the most games, 238. Had the most yards on interceptions. I thought that was amazing. 1,483 yards on his interceptions. So he was making some moves. He was catching the ball and taking it down the field and changing the field and the possession for his team. And putting his team in good position to score. That's what I'm trying to say. I was impressed with that. I thought he had more than the one Super Bowl win, but that's all he had.
Right. Yeah. You would seem like he would have more, but he got one and he got it. And then
58 combined tackles too. That was strong.
Tackling machine, interception machine, and got some sacks in there too. So he was part of great defenses, blitz packages, disguising coverage. So he's a smart guy. And yeah, like you said, an underrated player, but his resume holds up for some of the greats for sure. Hall of Famer for sure. And then last but not least, Mr. Ronnie Lott played safety, corner, notorious for the San Francisco 49ers and that great dynasty that they had. Also played for the Raiders. 4 Super Rings. Also played for the Raiders, Jets, and Kansas City towards the end. 8-time first-team All-Pro, 10-time Pro Bowler, 4-time Super Bowl champ. Also had over 1,100 tackles, 63 interceptions, 16 forced fumbles, and was a Hall of Famer in 2000. So, man, you can see clips of him, and he just looked like just an angry football player.
He'd run right through you. He was one of the hardest tacklers that they had, and he was tough as they would come. His finger got stuck in someone's helmet. They took it out, and they told him he wasn't going to be able to play. He just cut the finger off. They taped it up, and he finished the game. That's how tough Ronnie Lott was. Ronnie Lott was no joke.
That's why. And I can see why all these old school players say players now are soft. That's just mental.
Right. That's how bad you want to be on the field, hurting somebody.
Oh my gosh!
Right, he did.
What do you mean? If my finger gets caught in the head, I'm done.
Right,
it's a wrap. What do you mean? It's just a game. What? Like for real? Like wow.
Yeah, cut his finger off.
Cut it off. I'm going back in the game. That's how real it was.
Yeah, that's how
intense it was, man. These players did not want to play.
No, they don't want to play.
Yeah, they couldn't even compare to some of the players back in the day. These are some real deal dudes.
No, when you say dogs, that's what you had. You had back in the 80s and 90s. You had
absolute
some real dogs out there in the field. And yeah, he was tough as they come. All right, D. So if you had to choose of the 3, who you going with? You going with Prime Time, Neon Deion? You going with Rod Woodson, or you going with Ronnie Lott?
That is that's a very good question. Because it's hard not to go with Neon Deion. This type of player he was, the athlete. I could put him in as receiver. I could put him as return. Like you said, they feared him. They didn't throw to his side. So then I can game plan that as far as defense. Then I ain't going to worry about him. I don't even have to worry about his side because Deion got it on lock.
Deion's got it on lock. Yeah.
That's nice to know. But, man, Ronnie Lott is the mentality, like you said, the toughness, the grit, the hitting ability. He also was a ball hawk, game changer, a tackling machine, play safety, corner, was an overall athlete. And then Rod Woodson, like you said, was underrated. Kind of wasn't a loud guy, like as far as vocal, but he made his impact on his field.
He's
and
one
made
of the team leaders for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
They always went to him for a quote.
Right.
You knew he was around. He just didn't. He wasn't very demonstrative about it. He just played his game.
He just played his game, true and true, and went home. Yeah. Man, this is a very good one, but I'm gonna have to go with Ronnie Lott.
Good choice. Good choice. When you first presented it to me, I said Deion, slam dunk, Deion.
Absolutely.
Thought about his impact on the game and so on and so forth. But then I started looking at these stats. And I'm like, damn, Rod Woodson. I just didn't know he was that much of a beast. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I knew he had a great game. He always was featured in every game, but he was so quiet about how he did it. And he just handled his business so professionally that I was like, man, dang, he's got some hell of a stats. But at the end of the day, this is one of the reasons I fell in love with the 49ers in the first place, was because of Ronnie Lott. Just the way the man could hit. He didn't care. He would throw his body at you. You weren't getting past him. Mm-hmm. If he runs up on you, you might as well lay down because he's going to knock you down. And the edge for me, because the tackles between him and Rod were very close, I think within 10 tackles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's very close.
4 Super Bowl rings because he was a big part of that, and he was still to this day one of my favorite players for the Niners. So I'm joining you with Ronnie Lott in Who You Got,
and Who
Ronnie
You Got
on Who You Got.
And that was hard. That was hard for me because Deion, he started with the Falcons, and I
Deion, yeah.
And the shuffle, the dance, and I love money. It's Neon Deion. It must be the money. Go ahead, Deion. And what he's doing now as a coach.
Then he hammered Too Legit to Quit.
Too legit to quit. You know, was holding it down for the Falcons when we were real bad. And he's part of reasons why we were good, but he had to move on because he realized it wasn't going to get done in Atlanta.
He left them and went to San Francisco, won a ring with them. Then he left them and went to Dallas and won a ring with them. I was so hurt because I was happy to get him. Right. And I'm like, come on, Deion, stay. And he went to Dallas and helped them win a championship. And helped them
get on. So where he goes, he helps them win.
Helped the Ravens win a championship. They were real good. Mm-hmm. He was with that team. It was him. Rod Woodson was with that team as well.
Right.
It was, and of course, they had Ray Lewis. They had Shannon Sharp, players that we've mentioned over the last few weeks. But, Lonnie Lott.
Ronnie Lotts.
He's Who You Got. Who You Got.
And Who You Got.
All right, D. So we're going to get to our new segment. It's called You Said What?
You said what?
So this segment, it'll focus on a crazy quote or statement by someone in sports or entertainment. And over the last week, I've heard some crazy things. But the most puzzling statement that I heard is your Atlanta Falcons owner, Arthur Blank.
Oh, my God.
Talking about them looking at Deshaun Watson last year, but not really wanting to take on Lamar Jackson this year. It made no sense. And so this is his quote. He said, I think we explored the one last year. He's talking about Deshaun Watson, which is what our responsibility was. We didn't explore it deeply. And that's how he said it. We didn't explore it deeply. We spent some time on it from a legal standpoint, personal standpoint, value standpoint on the player, and a variety of things. Soon after we got into exploring, we decided it wasn't a very good match. And then he added, I think Lamar's situation, and I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time talking about players on other clubs, but Lamar's situation, I think, is very different. A different player, a different time. But then he added about Lamar has missed 11 games over the last 2 seasons. And basically, you got to be durable. You got to be there for your team. That's money. You know how many games Deshaun Watson has missed the last 2 seasons? 27 games.
Very, contradicting.
Yeah.
What is he talking about?
D, it made no sense. And of course, I understand you want to go with your rookie. That's why you drafted a quarterback.
Right.
But anyway.
I don't even know. I don't even know where he was coming from because the stuff he said didn't make sense. Stuff from
it didn't make sense at all.
Legal
you
standpoint,
really need a quarterback.
All the trouble Deshaun Watson was in.
Right.
What, you know what I'm saying? So you're willing to deal with that than Lamar Jackson, who missed 11 games. He said it himself. Lamar said he could have played, but he felt like it would have been detrimental to the team, and he wasn't at 100%. So he was looking out for his team as far as, hey, I'm not going to be that guy y'all want me to be if I'm not fully healthy.
Right.
And the fact that, why wouldn't you want to get a Lamar Jackson? That's what I'm confused about. I like Desmond Ridder. I'm glad that you're going to ride with him and help him build around him so he can get comfortable in offense and stuff like that. So I guess they don't want to have to worry about the negotiation factor. But if you got a chance to get Lamar Jackson, caliber player, you go get Lamar Jackson. Like you was going to get Deshaun Watson and spend that money. Why wouldn't you do it for Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson got an MVP. And when Lamar Jackson is healthy, it's probably better than Deshaun Watson. Now, you can depend on what type of offense you're running. Deshaun Watson might be more suitable in one, but I'm taking Lamar.
I am too. And you got to remember the season that he played prior to that, and I'm talking about Deshaun Watson, he was injured for a few games. I think he had an Achilles.
Yeah.
He's had a few injuries. So it's not like he's been Mr. Durability. He's missed some games. So if I were Arthur Blank, I would have phrased it the way he did say in there. I don't want to talk about another player from
That's what you should have started and finished with.
But if I have to discuss it, my only reluctance to sign him is guaranteed money. Because that's really what it all boils down to. That's why nobody is really signing this man.
Exactly.
And they know that Baltimore, at the end of the day, still has the last right of refusal. They can sign him to an offer sheet and match or beat it. And so he'll stay with the Ravens. So they don't want to freeze that money on their cap until he decides not to do anything. And it's technical crap. But anyway, I just would have said, for what he's asking, guaranteed. Now, the thing we don't know, and I want to go back and research, is what was Deshaun Watson asking for guaranteed money?
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, Cleveland wasn't in the mix. Remember, it came down to Atlanta and the Saints.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, because they gave him all his money guaranteed, $230 million, he ended up going back to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, no, because we had
Atlanta going to pay him guaranteed, and what was the New Orleans Saints going to pay him guaranteed? It had to have been north of 150.
Oh,
For them to automatically jump to 230, you would have to even think it was, 180 to 200.
For someone to be like, well, shoot, you know what I'm saying?
Let's just go to 230.
Right. All guaranteed.
All
you know
guaranteed.
What I'm saying? Right.
So
they had to be
I'm
close
still not
to
understanding this.
Right.
I mean, I understand they don't want to reset the market and make it crazy, but this man,
that's a game changer.
You said it last week. Kyler Murray's got what, 180?
Yeah, I think
so like Russell was 160 something guaranteed.
Yeah, I think Kyler's around one. Yeah, it was 180, 160,
Come on,
180.
Man, that little dude don't even really play.
And he got a bad attitude.
Man, his attitude is horrible. So anyway, Arthur Blank, you said what?
You said what?
I like that new segment, D. That should be one of our new ones.
I like that one.
And,
I like that.
Yeah, we'll have to highlight it.
You said what?
You said what?
Tripping.
Maybe drop a few F-bombs up in the MF bomb. That's what you should. That's what
you said. What, mother?
MF? You said what?
You said what?
My mama listened to this.
Right.
All right, D. I know.
We gotta just bleep it out.
Right, just bleep it. Boop.
Get the bleep.
You said boop. Oh, we do have a bleep button too.
Right, so we're gonna add that. Yeah, we're gonna add that. Start cursing on this mouth. Really let loose in this mouth.
Man, we really let loose.
Yeah.
All right, son.
We gotta do that.
To some of that juicy.
Yeah, juicy. right, that juicy news.
Because if you don't know,
now you know. In my juicy news, because if you don't know, we were just talking about him, Lamar Jackson. Did you know that Meek Mill actually reached out to Robert Kraft and was telling Robert Kraft that Lamar Jackson was interested in being a Patriot, interested in a trade.
The rapper Meek Mill?
Meek Mill and Robert Kraft actually got a tight relationship. Really, Robert Kraft was a huge advocate for Meek Mill when he was in jail and they had him locked up. Robert Kraft was a big advocate of getting Meek back out, free Meek Mill. So that's a strange relationship, but that was just funny to me that Lamar Jackson is having Meek Mill put a little bird in Robert Kraft's ear.
It'd help if he had an agent.
Right. Something maybe an agent might do, but hey, he's trying to get out there. He's trying to get a trade. And I get, from a money standpoint, cut the middleman. You know what I'm saying? Why am I going to pay him multi-millions of dollars for something that he feels like he could do just as good on his own?
But he hasn't done it.
We're still waiting to see
the results of this.
We'll still wait to see the result, but hey, hopefully we see Lamar in some type of uniform, suiting up, playing, ready to go. Man, that was.
I wonder how Bill Belichick would feel about that, because he's not one to spend a whole lot of money on one player.
Oh no,
he likes to spread it across.
Yes,
but Robert Kraft would have to have his buy-in to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But man, if you get Lamar Jackson on that team, you're instantly putting yourself at the top of that, that division.
Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna compete,
even behind Buffalo.
They're gonna have Buffalo.
Still have some issues.
And then you'll see if Aaron Rodgers actually suits up for the Jets.
That's one thing forever.
Yeah, and one thing about the Jets, I feel like they'll have to boost that offensive line, get some protection, definitely a left tackle to protect Aaron Rodgers' blind side, because that was one thing that I guess they really didn't have a quarterback, Mike White, Zach Wilson. But, the offensive line was decent. It was okay. But if you want to bring Aaron Rodgers there and they want to keep talking, they talking about if Rodgers goes there, they're Super Bowl bound. Not necessarily, because you're going to have to protect them.
You got to protect them, and you still got to get through Cincinnati, and you definitely got to get through Mahomes.
Mahomes. Who's going to beat Mahomes? Who's going to beat Burrow? Burrow is the one that is looking like that could beat Mahomes. So who's going to beat them? And we'll see if can Josh Allen be consistent all the way.
And you're probably going to have to do it either way on the road.
Multiple times.
Because one of those teams is going to have the best record and win out home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And we both know how much that means to winning the Super Bowl. So
it's huge.
It's huge. I just, man. Yeah. Well, good. Now that's great juicy news.
Yeah, some juicy news. That's something that
real what we were talking about.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
I didn't know they had a relationship.
And Robert Kraft,
like
they tight, man. It's not what you know. It's who you know.
It's who you know. And if you don't know, now you
and if you don't know,
all right, son. On to our pops, flops, and props.
Ooooweee.
Pops, flops, and props, and that's number 3. If you're counting,
pops, flops, and props. Pops, flops, and props.
There you go. Who you got? Who you leading off with tonight, son?
Big pops. I'm from the Lou, and I'm proud. We in the Lou, man. St. Louis, man. The Battle Hawks continue to win, having a winning record and putting their dominance on. They got a win last Saturday. The St. Louis Soccer Club continuing to do that thing. I think you touched on it episode or 2 ago. Just putting on for the Lou sports, man. This is a great sports city. All coming around, so we got the Cardinals to see what they're gonna do, and then unfortunately the Blues didn't really do much, but it's still something.
Playing since the trade deadline, they're actually playing better hockey.
A little bit better than what they started.
Acquisitions that they picked up were people that they traded for, playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
If they get in that top 10, they're going to have one of the top draft choices. They're going to be in that lottery. But they're actually playing better hockey these last few weeks, which is good to see. But yeah, props to St. Louis
Props
sports.
to St. Louis sports right now. We popping.
Yep. Or pops, should we say?
Pops.
Props. It's pops.
It's pops. It's poppins. It's poppins.
I have some co-pop VPs.
Oh, co-pop VPs.
We talked about them earlier. Florida Atlantic, Miami, and San Diego State for just bucking the trend and They got to the Final Four when I guarantee you, I don't think any one of those schools was predicted to even get there. And
Not
I'd
near
venture
one
to
of them.
say if I go back to the preseason top 25 poll, I bet you none of these teams are ranked in the top 25.
Right.
So
Not
for
even
them to get
close.
all the way to the big dance, I got to give them their pops. And there's no need in belaboring it anymore. We talked about them earlier. Florida Atlantic, Miami, San Diego State. You get my pops.
You get pops. You
Or
get the pops.
co-pop VPs.
Co-pop VPs.
All
VPs.
right. D, who gets your flop?
So my flop is going to go to a team that we were just talking about. They got a game right now. They're actually winning against the 76ers. But flops was the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, when they had the Kyrie and Luka trade, right before that trade, Dallas Mavericks was sitting at the fourth seed, top 5. Right now, they're sitting closer to the bottom. Last time I checked, it was like the 11th in the West.
Wow.
Yeah, they were going down. Now they might have went up a seed or two because they won a game since then.
That's was the other team. Remember, I was saying they would be playing for that into that play-in tournament?
No, they're still currently 11th in the West right now. Before that trade, they were 4th in the West. Right now, with only a couple games left, week or two left in the season, they're sitting at 11th and in a bad position, a bad spot where other teams are getting hot. So that was very interesting to me. I thought that adding Kyrie there was going to make them sustain that or maybe improve that and have them looking good going into the playoffs. But they're gonna be fighting to get into that play-in, man. So.
And they made it deep last year.
And they made it deeper last. They all went to the Western Conference Finals, I believe.
Western Conference Finals.
Without him. And if they don't even do that or get knocked out when they have him, that's just a flop. That's
losing Brunson was a big I didn't realize how crucial he was to that team.
He was.
But Jalen Brunson was he was hard for the Warriors to stop.
That's what the Knicks are doing good now.
That's what they're missing. He's the key piece. And then, of course, they traded away some folks to get Kyrie. And it's looking like it's going to backfire. And he's going to be looking for a new home next year. I'm assuming he's probably going to head to the Lakers.
That's what they assume.
And who else really wants him? For as talented as he is. And we've talked about this before on here. The dude is just a cancer everywhere he goes. It's sad. And
I mess with Kyrie. I'm a big Kyrie. I'm a big Kyrie
fan. I really like him. I think he's a hell of a talent. But damn, he's everywhere he goes. It's just like that.
The team just the team just kind of right. I don't know what it is, but the team just it don't be the same. He went to Boston, and then they went to the playoffs before they went high, and then
he was on the bench.
Right, but
that's why he was injured. They came together and they went to the playoffs.
Before they had, I guess before he started playing, they went deep, and then when he started playing, then didn't really happen, and then the whole thing with Brooklyn,
and how he left Cleveland, and he never should have left Cleveland.
Right,
LeBron should have been running that back.
Right,
he didn't give them a chance to run it back.
Right,
come on, man, let us run this back. He didn't even do that.
A couple more times.
Yeah, he got lucky, but at least let's try to run it back.
But that was my flop, man. The Dallas Mavericks is a big flop. Going from 4th to 11th at this time is not good.
I agree. Mine is to the NCAA athletic system, which allows a coach to jump from team to team. But if I'm a player, I can only transfer one time through the transfer portal and then start immediately or play immediately.
Right.
Coach, he can get bought out, and the school that he's going to, they're going to pay for him to leave. But it's just unfair. I just don't like it. Coaches should have the same, I don't know if it's a transfer portal, but they should have the same stipulations as the players. It's the players that help you make the money. Yeah, it's your program, it's your system that gets them over the top. But without good players, you can't do anything. And so they jump, like I said, start here. I have a good playoff run or a tournament run, then I get to go to another school. But the players that I recruited, they're left behind. And they can't always go to another school because that school may not have scholarships to offer. Or if I go, then I'm going to have to sit. So I might as well stay where I am. But that's the thing, too. do players or young athletes, impressionable athletes, do they go to that college because of the school, or do they go because of the coach? Because at 9 times out of 10, it's the coach that wins them over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That would tick me off if I'm a young freshman and I get to just say, I'll just use Duke as an example. And then my coach leaves and he goes to a different situation. I'm stuck. I'm cool here, but I came to play for you.
Right.
You sat in my living room and sold me, my mom and my dad on the program and why I should come here. But then you left me and you went somewhere else. So the way the system is set up, for years, I just can't stand it. And I saw earlier today where another coach, he had a good run in the tournament. He's leaving his school. He's going somewhere else. Now those players, think about the players coming in. They hadn't even got there
Been there yet.
Yeah, I came because of you, dude. You convinced me to come here, and then you left me. So, anyway, that's my flop, the NCAA system. All right, son, who do you have as your prop?
Props. So props, we already highlighted them multiple times, and we talked about it. Just the women's NCAA side, LSU, Iowa, South Carolina, and Virginia Tech for making the Final Four. Those women have proved why they deserve to be there for their programs, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. And also for the men, the Owls, UConn, San Diego State, Miami, like you were saying, for not being a top seed and not being looked at and playing good basketball and improving and showing out at this time and making March mad.
It's been mad.
It's been mad. It's been crazy. My bracket was destroyed on the first day. Now, that's how you know it's a good tourney, because there's no way all those upsets should have been happening. Each round was just an upset.
We still go back to Princeton should have never beat Missouri.
Man, and gotten that far? And I would never, besides, I guess, UConn and Miami, maybe, but to make to the Final Four, to go that far, but to all of them to make the Final Four, that's very impressive. So
I just wanted the Owls to make some noise, and then
they did more than that.
Noise, they're just like beating the door down.
They beat the door down and about to take the house over.
About to take it over. It's a raid.
The Owls.
The Owls. My props go to a young 20-year-old superstar in the making, we hope. Jordan Walker, 6'5", 5'2" player, starting for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm impressed. There's been a lot of hype around this young man, and every time there's a trade, obviously teams want him, and the Cardinals are like, no, he's hands off. He's hands off. Last played in Double-A, so he's skipping Triple-A, coming right to the big leagues. And in spring training, he had 277, had 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, and he had 2 stolen bases. He got hurt. He slid into a bag head first, hurt his shoulder, because the dude was hitting like 400. And it kind of tailed off from there. But he has made the big club, and they say he's a once-in-a-lifetime player, and they compare him often to Albert Pujols.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't supposed to make the team back in 2000, hit his way on, and we know
and
the rest
we know
is history.
Right. We know
and they
who
said
he is now.
They're not bringing him here just to sit on the bench. No,
they want to contribute.
He's gonna start.
Yeah.
And he's a strong candidate to be the rookie of the year. Just looking at the national press. So my props go to 20-year-old Jordan Walker. Congrats, my young man.
Young man.
Looking forward to watching you all this season, this summer. Go ahead and do the damn thing. All right.
Here it is.
Oh,
yeah.
It's time to tell someone to sit your ass down.
Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down, man.
Sit your ass down. That's not telling you to sit down. I just got to the ballpark, man. It made me spill my drink.
And this gonna be a good one. I'm hopping right into it. We ain't talking about them in a little minute. Mr. Cottonelle himself has made headlines once again.
Uh-oh.
I don't even know how he's out for the season because he ain't been playing. How are you out for the season and you ain't been playing? Once again, is not playing a full season. Ben Simmons, sit your ass down. What do you mean you out for the season? You were averaging 2.2 points a game. Like, how's your back hurt? You ain't been carrying nobody. You ain't been scoring. Like, how are you out for a season again? Hey, and I honestly, we all jokes aside, I'm going to pray for that brother. His mental health. Something's going on, man, because his psyche is not right. Ever since Philly, they was probably going too hard on him, kind of broke him down. Fans booed him. They was doing him dirty. That kind of messed with his mental. And he's, am I ready? Am I ready to be back? Because it's always these back problems. Not if he legitimately has back problems, okay, that's one thing. But I don't. It's probably from sitting down too much. You're not using. You don't use it. You gonna lose it.
So maybe you need to tell him to stand up.
Maybe you need to stand up and actually play, brother. But man, for what you were doing at LSU and the high hopes you had in Philly, he was actually
the hype
balling.
all around him.
The hype all around him, and he was actually living up to some of the expectations that were set for him.
He got afraid to shoot a free throw.
Then they got in his head and that he could shoot, and then he started believing that he couldn't shoot, and then he didn't want to prove that he could shoot. But that's the name of the game, man. You got to shoot the ball and put the ball in the basket. Who can do that efficiently?
When he could slam, he was right
6'10". And you doing layups or a no look pass when you're right by the rim. Ben Simmons, man, sit your ass down, bro. Out for the rest of the season?
Out for the rest of the season. Yeah. And I don't even know if we can call him street clothes. Just call him pajama pants.
He ain't even getting out the bed to put regular clothes.
I don't even want to see you in street clothes because we know you're not going to play.
That's pajama
pants. That's his new nickname.
He ain't even street clothes.
PJ.
That's PJs. That's PJs. That boy got some yoga pants on.
No, because you got to stretch.
Oh, my God.
His back might be okay if he stretched.
Man. Yeah.
Whew.
Simmons,
good one,
man.
D. That's a good one.
I couldn't wait for that one.
Mine is, I already talked about him. This dude just frustrated me. Arthur Blank, man, just sit your ass down.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? I mentioned it before. You drafted Desmond Ridder, and he's going to be a good young player. I really feel that. But you got a chance to get an MVP caliber player in his prime. This dude is only 26, D. And the thing that cracks me up about these GMs, or maybe it's on his side, and I'm talking about Lamar, negotiated a 2-year deal, $120 million, 60 guaranteed, and then we'll come back to the table in 2 years. You don't need to get a long-term 5-year, 8-year deal with guaranteed.
Like what you said,
You can get 120 guaranteed, and I guarantee somebody's going to do it.
I think that's a lot more doable. At the end of the day, you want to just guarantee money. Like you said.
Just guarantee me from year to year. I still want that one.
Yeah.
Just, year to year, prove what you're worth. And maybe they should make all contracts like that. But Arthur Blank, though, as the owner, I remember, D, we were living in Atlanta at the time when he took over the Falcons. And I was so happy because this man seemed like he would do anything to bring a winner to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And now it's just like, I'll put a Band-Aid on it here. I'll get a Mariota. Maybe he can help us. Because they draft okay.
Oh, it's okay.
They just don't make the right picks. They don't focus on an area and just like, you know what? Let's just go all in on, we're going to draft defensive players and we're going to recruit offensive free agents. You know what I'm saying? They don't get one side of the ball.
It's never strategic. It's always sporadic. Let's get this one. Let's do this one. Yeah. Have an idea and build towards the future. And then it's so random.
See those pieces keep adding up to better pieces and better pieces. And then the free agents don't come in and mesh with those pieces where you have a cohesive unit. It's just like you said, it's almost like a hodgepodge.
Right.
But again, for him to be so outspoken, I remember when they put the tag on Lamar, and the Falcons were one of the first teams to say, we're not in the market for a quarterback. Why wouldn't you be? You let Mariota go. You don't have Matt Ryan. You let him go. And that was a smart move. But
it was.
What I'm saying is you don't have a leader. You got a nice young quarterback. And if you want to build around him, then okay, build around him. But if you got that opportunity, you want to bring a winner to the city, don't make those statements. Just be quiet. That's my whole point. But while you're being quiet, sit your ass down. That's all I got to say, D.
Man.
All right.
Man,
that's time is fine, one. D. I can't believe how quickly time flies, but this is another great episode.
Absolutely.
Me and D.
Pops and Son podcast.
For that ass. Put the challenge back out there. Ooooweee. Yeah. Oh, that's 4. That's 5. All you got to do is, if you read, you can win. That's all I'll say. If you read, you win.
Go to our show notes. Go to our link.
Go to the
read socials. The show notes. Go to my Facebook. Look at the competition. We got a free T-shirt giveaway.
With the nice Me and D
logo. With a nice crispy tee. With a nice crispy tee.
That gray just popping. Pop,
it's shining.
Then I got the colorful. I got the multicolor.
You got the multicolor. The multi-vibes. It's the multi-vibe collection.
And you can have that yourself. Yeah, we're giving away a free T-shirt. You can choose either one of these designs, and it can be yours, and you can be sporting it.
All you got to do is listen.
All you got to do is listen.
And read.
And if you can't do that, sit your ass down.
And go to the library.
And we're out.